Martin Luther King Jr., a leader for civil rights. Martin Luther King Jr. was a Baptist minister and activist who became the most visible spokesperson and leader in the civil rights movement from 1955 until his assassination in 1968. King was born in Atlanta, Georgia, on January 15, 1929. He was the son of a prominent minister, and he was educated at Morehouse College, Crozer Theological Seminary, and Boston University. After graduating from Boston University, King returned to Atlanta to become pastor of Dexter Avenue Baptist Church. In 1955, King became involved in the Montgomery bus boycott, which was a protest against segregation on public buses. The boycott was successful, and it helped to launch King's career as a civil rights leader. In the years that followed, King led many other protests against segregation and discrimination. He was arrested many times, and he was even stabbed once. But he never gave up, and he continued to fight for justice for all people. King's philosophy of nonviolence was inspired by the teachings of Mahatma Gandhi. He believed that violence would only lead to more violence, and that the only way to achieve lasting change was through peaceful means. King's most famous speech was his "I Have a Dream" speech, which he delivered at the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom in 1963. The speech is considered one of the most important speeches in American history, and it helped to inspire the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. King was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964 for his work in the civil rights movement. He was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee, in 1968. Martin Luther King Jr. was a great leader and a champion of justice. He helped to change the world for the better, and his legacy continues to inspire people today. Here are some of the key lessons we can learn from Martin Luther King Jr. Never give up. King faced many challenges in his fight for civil rights, but he never gave up. He knew that fighting for what is right is always worth it. Be peaceful. King believed that violence was never the answer. He always advocated for peaceful protest, even when it was difficult. Have hope. King never lost hope in the future of America. He believed that we could create a better world where everyone is treated equally. Be kind and loving. King believed that love is the most powerful force in the world. He showed love to everyone, even his enemies. Stand up for what you believe in. King was not afraid to stand up for what he believed in, even when it was unpopular. He knew that it is important to speak out against injustice. Be courageous. King was courageous in his fight for civil rights. He knew that he was risking his life, but he did it anyway because he believed in what he was doing. Be persistent. King was persistent in his fight for civil rights. He never gave up, even when things got tough. Be creative. King was creative in his fight for civil rights. He came up with new ways to protest and raise awareness of the issue. Be hopeful. King was hopeful in his fight for civil rights. He believed that we could create a better world where everyone is treated equally. Martin Luther King Jr. was a true hero. He dedicated his life to fighting for justice and equality, and he made the world a better place. His legacy will continue to inspire people for generations to come. In addition to the key lessons listed above, here are some other things we can learn from Martin Luther King Jr. The importance of education. King was a brilliant man who was educated at some of the best schools in the country. He knew that education was essential for fighting for social justice. The power of words. King was a gifted orator who used his words to inspire and motivate people. He knew that words could be used to change the world. The importance of community. King believed that we are stronger together than we are apart. He built a strong community of activists who worked together to achieve their goals. The importance of faith. King was a deeply religious man who believed in the power of God. He knew that God was with him in his fight for justice. Martin Luther King Jr. was a complex and inspiring figure. He was a man of great intellect, courage, and faith. He changed the world for the better, and his legacy will continue to inspire people for generations. These keywords can be used to describe King's life and work, as well as the lessons we can learn from him. For example, the keyword, civil rights, refers to the rights of all people, regardless of race, religion, or ethnicity. King fought for civil rights for African Americans, but his work also had a broader impact on society. He helped to create a more just and equitable world for everyone. The keyword, nonviolence, refers to King's belief that violence was never the answer. He advocated for peaceful protest as a way to achieve change. This was a radical idea at the time, but it helped to bring about real change in the world. The keyword, peaceful protest, refers to the methods that King used to fight for civil rights. He organized marches, boycotts, and other forms of nonviolent protest. These protests were often met with violence from the opposition, but King never gave up. He knew that peaceful protest was the only way to achieve lasting change. The keyword, equality, refers to King's belief that all people are created equal. He fought for equality for African Americans, but his work also had a broader impact on society. He helped to create a more just and equitable world for everyone. The keyword, justice, refers to King's belief that everyone deserves to be treated fairly. He fought for justice for African Americans, but his work also had a broader impact on society. He helped to create a more just and equitable world for everyone. The keyword, hope, refers to King's belief that we could create a better world. He never gave up hope, even in the face of adversity. He knew that we could achieve great things if we worked together. The keyword, love, refers to King's belief that love is the most powerful force in the world. He showed love to everyone, even his enemies. He knew that love could be used to change the world. The keyword, courage, refers to King's willingness to stand up for what he believed in, even when it was dangerous. He knew that it was important to speak out against injustice, even if it meant putting himself at risk. The keyword, faith, refers to King's belief in the power of God. He knew that God was with him in his fight for justice. The keyword, education, refers to King's belief that education was essential for fighting for social justice. He was a brilliant man who was educated at some of the best schools in the country. He knew that education could be used to change the world. The keyword, words, refers to King's gift for speaking and writing. He was a gifted orator who used his words to inspire and motivate people. He knew that words could be used to change the world. The keyword, community, refers to King's belief that we are stronger together than we are apart. He built a strong community of activists who worked together to achieve their goals.